Alright, getting into match 5 with Seasons Past. We are 2-2 right now. Our last opponent gave us the win after starting a match and immediately conceding, so that was kind of bizarre. So we're really 1-2, but I mean, I'll take it. We lost the die roll again. I think we've lost all of the die rolls so far. We've got removal, we need more lands. But if we draw like land, our hand's really good actually. So I'll keep. Stomping Ground untapped. Plays a dork. Okay. That's not a land. Well, we Fatal Push the dork. Hopefully that buys us some time. Voice of Resurgence, so we're playing against a Winota deck, it looks like. Let's Thoughtseize. We're probably going to get a Forest in a second. Llanowar Elves, Prosperous, Innkeeper, they're basically the same. Might as well take Innkeeper, I guess. But I think I just fetch for a Forest so I can Abrupt Decay. Even though it makes it so that we're slightly less likely to draw land. Yeah, I definitely want to be able to Abrupt Decay, so let's get a Forest. We draw a modal land. I'll count it. Kill that. Opponent hits us with a Voice of Resurgence. Plays a Llanowar Elves. Plays another of the legendary creature that we just killed, so that kind of sucks. No cards in our opponent's hand, so Go Blank doesn't do anything. If we 2 the Slaughter, there's a decent chance that they sacrifice Voice of Resurgence so that they have a larger boy. This triggers off Wolves or Werewolves. Okay. I don't really want... If they sacrifice the Voice of Resurgence, it's possible that we draw a black land and then can languish away their board. So I think that's worth it. Let's 2 the Slaughter. We definitely don't want to 2 the Slaughter during their turn. So they don't get a voice. Okay, well. They get rid of Llanowar Elves instead. And hopefully we don't just die to not drawing lands here. That would be unfortunate. Eskia's Chariot. We're getting close to dying to not drawing lands. Fatal Push. Well. So we can Fatal Push one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we Fatal Push a cat token to stay alive. Our opponent gets Winota. Alright, we're for sure dead here. Because even without getting things with Winota, our opponent can crew the Chariot with Winota and then get in for lethal. So we're going to see what they reveal, in case they have any spicy humans. But, like, there's no way that we can survive this anyway. Looks like it's just the stock Winota deck right now. Yep. Yep. And... Alright, our opponent wins. Alright, so sideboarding against Winota. Let's see what we want. Definitely want Grafdigger's Cage. We definitely want Noxious Grasp. Let's bring in Cry of the Carnariums. Let's bring in Fog, because that seems very good. I don't think they have an answer to a Fog Loop. Maybe Crypt Incursion? We'll see. Balagret Recovery doesn't seem good. Crucible of Worlds I think is fine, because usually they only run a couple basics, if any. So then you can start Field of Ruining them very easily. Soul Guide Lantern is not very good, so let's get rid of that. Go Blank also doesn't seem very good, so we'll probably just cut those. Necromentia gets to stay in because it gets Winota, and everything else is just sort of removal. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Casualties of War is also pretty nice if we get the amount of mana that it is required to cast it. Let's see. Because they play Eskia's Chariot, so you can usually get an artifact, a land, and a creature at least. On the die roll, okay. Alright, this hand's fine. This plays Necromentia on our turn 3, and then possibly Wrath on turn 4. So we'll keep. Play a tapped Hissing Quagmire. Sego. Forest Pass from our opponent. Let's go Thoughtseize You. Good lord. So they have a bunch of high mana cost cards. So let's take Prosperous Innkeeper. And we'll just play Fabled Passage Go. They had a Cragcrown Pathway. Okay. Let's get a Swamp. Cry of the Carnarium. So it gets us... So we could Necromentia and get Winota, which they're not close to playing anyway. Or we could Necromentia and start getting these 6-drops. We'd take a bit of damage, but then we can Cry of the Carnarium them away afterward. I think I like that plan, because that also means that they can't hit any more of those. With Winota. And if I Necromentioned Winota and then they just killed us with a bunch of 6-drops, I'd be pretty sad, so. They drew another Eskia's Chariot. That's very funny. Okay, they have 3 Eskia's Chariots in their hand. Okay, so they can probably Chariot next turn. But we're not going to make it easy for them. Elvish Mystic, okay. Let's see. I don't really want to spend a Vraska's Contempt on just an Elvish Mystic, but I'd be willing to Field of Ruin this pathway and see if they just don't have any more basics. Okay, they had a basic Plains, which is moderately annoying. But if they spend Treasure Token on an Eskia's Chariot here, we'll be able to Languish to get rid of the tokens, or Ritual of Soot the tokens away, I suppose, instead of Languish. Grafdigger's Cage is nice. Alright. Ritual of Soot. Grafdigger's Cage. Means Winota can't trigger. Now we just have to fight through a couple Eskia's Chariots. They're legendary, but they have an ETB trigger, so legendary matters a bit less than it normally would. Now they have to figure out which one was the new one. Let's see if they picked right. I didn't see. It's kind of hard to tell when things come in so quickly with Moto. Yep. We take 4 down to 8. We draw Seasons Past. Alright, so I think what I want to do... Maybe we just have to languish here. I sort of wanted to hold up Vraska's Contempt and see if he animated Eskia's Chariot again so that we could get rid of it. Let's just pass. I'm going to hold up Vraska's Contempt. Because he might be out of lands for a little while now too. Nope, drew another land, plays it tapped. Duskwatch Recruiter, okay. That rewards us at least a little for keeping Languish in our hand. But they do have another Eskia's Chariot that we have to fight through. So we're taking 4 and gaining 2 this turn. Okay. They have 1 card in their hand and we know what it is. We can languish away this board, and then there's just an Eskia's Chariot to deal with, and we have a Seasons Past to help us deal with it too. Yep. Collective Brutality is kind of nice. That can get rid of the cat token. And suddenly he can't animate Chariot that we know of at least this turn. Innkeeper still can't animate Chariot, can attack us for 2 down to 4. God, if we end up just short, that would be so sad. After all this. Keeps it back because he doesn't want to trade for the Hissing Quagmire. Let's see, 1, 2... I think we have to Seasons Past this turn. What would we get back? We would get back a Wrath, so probably Languish. Or we would get Cry of the Carnarium, a Ritual of Soot, a land, a Thoughtseize, and a Collective Brutality. Yeah, I think we gotta do that. We're dead to our opponent drawing something that can animate Eskia's Chariot. But I think we just gotta hope that they blank. So let's go... Fabled Passage, Cry of the Carnarium, Vraska's Contempt, Collective Brutality, Thoughtseize. And cross our fingers really hard. They do not animate Eskia's Chariot, so it looks like we might just be alive here. Are we surviving? Did we do it? Let's get a swamp. Untap. Play a Slitherbore Pathway. We can Cry the Carnarium away the creatures. We have a Vraska's Contempt to deal with something hasty, or the SK's Chariot getting animated. I think we might be winning this. I think we might have turned the corner. I don't want to get too hopeful too quickly, but we might be able to draw our way out of this. Okay, there's a Dark Petition. So 3. Well, we don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna hold on for a turn on the Dark Petition. And cycle Suffocating Fumes to see if I can draw a land. Draw a Fatal Push. Okay. Drew another Fatal Push. Okay. Well, let's go... See, the problem is if we cast Dark Petition, we can't hold up Vraska's Contempt anymore. Maybe we just drain our opponent with... Maybe we cast Dark Petition and then just drain our opponent with Collective Brutality? Get... Do we get Mastermind's Acquisition is the question. I think we get Mastermind's Acquisition and try to go for the hard lock. So let's go... Drain our opponent. So we don't die to Chariot getting animated, at least immediately. Pass the turn. We can Fatal Push twice if we need to. We're probably not casting Thoughtseize anytime soon. Opponent draws a land again, it looks like. Yep. Alright. Hissing Quagmire casts Mastermind's Acquisition. Get Seasons Passed. Pass the turn. So now we can Seasons Pass back 2 tutors. Ranger class, that's moderately annoying. They don't get card advantage with it, at least because of Grafdigger's Cage. But we do need to kill this wolf. Okay. Okay. Opponent realizes that they can't cast cards off the top of their deck, probably here. Grafdigger's Cage is very good against you. So yeah, our opponent played Ranger class, leveled it up a bunch of times, and now I think is realizing that they don't actually have a future sight. But we know that they have a creature on top of their deck because they tapped there. And it was a white and a green, so it's probably a Voice of Resurgence. Two, three, four, five, 6. So we'll have 4 mana because the Seasons Past getting back a Field of Ruin or Fabled Passage. Let's go ahead and Fatal Push the Wolf token. Just keep the board clear. I need to play a bit faster to make up for lost time. Opponent is pausing for a while. For seemingly no reason. I think he just needs to pass priority again. Okay, blue and a green. Yes. Still trying to cast something off the top of his deck, it looks like. Read the Grafdigger's Cage, opponent. I believe in you. They tapped for a blue and a green that time, so that makes me think that it might not be a Voice of Resurgence, it might just be a Prosperous Innkeeper on top. I don't think opponent has figured out the reason that this isn't working as Grafdigger's Cage yet. But because of the type of deck we're playing, we're fine with them using up some of their clock for nothing. Alright, they're tapping mana again. Why do they keep trying to do this? Alright, Fatal Push. Cast. Finally, it's my turn. Alright. We go Seasons Past. Get 2 tutors and some other stuff. Mastermind's Acquisition, Dark Petition, Field of Ruin. Let's get Cry of the Carnarium and Collective Brutality and Fatal Push also. Done. Play land for turn. Discard Thoughtseize and Urborg. So next turn we just go Mastermind's Acquisition, get a Fog. And then find a win condition after that, I suppose. We're still going to try to keep the board clear in case they have some sort of way to prevent damage. And I'm going to try to gain some life as well. In case they have some weird burn card that we don't know about in their deck or something. Prosperous Innkeeper, okay. That's fine. Opponent's pausing again. Still hasn't figured out how Ranger class interacts with Grafdigger's Cage. But we know that they have a creature on top of their deck. I'm just going to put an instep stop on. Alright. Field of Ruin. Let's see if we can figure out how many basics he has in his deck. Got another forest, okay. Fatal Push your guy. Yup. Mastermind's Acquisition. We will get a Fog, so that nothing goes horribly awry. We will drain our opponent. Pass the turn. Alright, well, we got our very slow clock started. Toflar, okay. We Vraska's Contempt it. Fabled Passage. We will search with Fabled Passage, get a forest. Cast Dark Petition, get a Seasons Past. 3, 4, 5, 6. Green, green, black. Cast Seasons Past, get a Dark Petition, Vraska's Contempt. Well, Dark Petition, Mastermind's Acquisition. And Fatal Push, Urborg, Necromentia. Done. I'm just gonna have to discard a bunch of cards at end of turn anyway. We'll discard Thoughtseize, discard one of the Fatal Pushes. Plays a Tovlar. Opponent passes. We play an Urborg. We... 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's just Necromentia you. Get rid of Winota. We need to get rid of Elite Spellbinder next. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Search for a card. Put Seasons Past in our hand. Say go. We will Seasons Past. Get Fog, Mastermind's Acquisition. Actually, Fog. And Vraska's Contempt and Collective Brutality and Fabled Passage. And Necromentia. Done. We will go sacrifice Fabled Passage, get a Swamp. Fatal Push your guy. Necromentia, Elite Spellbinder. We will drain you. Pass the turn. Gets another Tovlar. Alright. We will Vraska's Contempt the Tovlar. We will Seasons Past. Get Field of Ruin, Fatal Push, Mastermind's Acquisition, Collective Brutality. Play Field of Ruin. Drain you. And I think next turn we just Mastermind's Acquisition, get our Carnage Tyrant, and finish off the game. We only have 9 minutes on the clock, unfortunately, so we have to play kind of fast next turn. Okay, let's Cryo the Carnarium that away. We still have enough mana for Fog if we need it for some reason. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have our opponent dead next turn. Opponent's going to level up Ranger class for some reason. Passes the turn. Animate Hissing Quagmire. Animate Hissing Quagmire. Attack for a bunch. And then kill you with a Witherbloom command. Cool, cool. Alright. I'm gonna leave everything as it was. Submit the deck. We gotta play pretty fast. Yeah, we gotta mulligan that. This hand's fine. We'll keep. We will get rid of a Season's Pass. Done. So we have a Thoughtseize on one, and we have 2 Wraths. One of them we already have the mana for, the other one we need to draw land. So let's go. We have a bunch of Wraths now. Thoughtseize you. Get rid of... Get rid of Ranger class. We're a bit more concerned about the... It was between that and Eske's Chariot. I think I'm a bit more concerned about the Ranger class getting them value this game because they actually have the mana to activate it all the way, and they and we don't have... Well, that gets rid of Chariot. That works fine. Tovolar's Huntmaster. Extinction Event can deal with that. Let's get rid of Chariot. Cemetery. Go. So we're gonna go Cry the Carnarium next turn, it looks like. Yep. Plays a land. Alright, we slam a Cry of the Carnarium. We really need to draw a land. They still need another land to play the Huntmaster here, but if we don't draw a land, we're going to take at least a little bit of beats from it. That's moderately annoying. Ugh, alright. Haven't drawn a land yet. Our non-basic lands come in tapped now, so that's bad. Yikes. Winota. They get a Winota trigger. We're taking at least 2, probably more. We're taking 4. That's not the scariest it's ever been. Go down to 9. Basic land. Okay. We can Wrath now. Okay, now we're in a good spot again. Because we can Wrath these away. We know one of the cards in his hand. It's a 6-drop that he can't cast yet, and we have an answer for it even if he does. He has 4 mana. Eske's Chariot? Yep. He's very far away from playing. So let's go Extinction Event your stuff away. Even. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave the Fabled Passage in play and try to draw a card. Delete Spellbinder, that's annoying. Let's see what he takes and then we might. Activate Fabled Passage depending. Because I kind of want to draw a basic land so that I can Casualties of War or something here. But it'll depend on what he takes with Delete Spellbinder, I suppose. He takes Casualties of War. Yeah, let's leave the Fabled Passage in play right now. Got an Abrupt Decay. Well, we can Abrupt Decay that. We're back to almost the same spot, except our Casualties of War cost 2 more mana now. Innkeeper, that's fine. I want to draw a 6th land so I can tutor for Seasons Past and be closer to casting it. Okay. Let's get a Seasons Past dinner. Well, let's get a Mastermind's Acquisition and then Seasons Past. So Mastermind's Acquisition, search with Fabled Passage, get a Forest, cast Mastermind's Acquisition. Search my library. Put a Seasons Past in my hand. Say go. They play a land for turn. We're at 8. So we're still not fully stabilized, but we're getting there. We get to go Seasons Past. Crucible of Worlds might be some nice value. Fabled Passage, Thoughtseize, Dark Petition, Cry of the Carnarium, Extinction Event? And Abrupt Decay. Done. Play Fabled Passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Just to make sure they can't play that this coming turn. That's probably the last Thoughtseize we cast this game because they're pretty much just going to be able to play their top decks from here on out. Suffocating Fumes, that's not that bad. Alright, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Crucible Worlds. Play Fabled Passage. Pass the turn. We're probably going to Suffocating Fumes this creature away here. Can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, we're in a race now against the clock. We get to Casualties of War, which is nice. Cast land, creature, and artifact. Artifact, creature, land. Say go. Opponent doesn't do anything. Awesome. We're gonna go Fabled Passage, Dark Petition, get Seasons Past, cast Seasons Past, green, green. Dark Petition, Mastermind's Acquisition, Casualties of War. Done. Pass the turn. We got 3.5 minutes. Got a Mastermind's Acquisition and get a Carnage Tyrant really fast. They have one card in their hand. We're pretty much stabilized. Pass the turn. One card in opponent's hand. We draw a Fog. We have enough removal that we should just be able to kill whatever blockers they get. Let's see. Let's discard Thoughtseize because it's kind of ass right now. Come on. Yay! Alright, so we finished 3-2. Really, we're 2-2 because we didn't play one of those, but I'll take it.